So this video is my April 2015 favorites revisited. This is where I go back 2 years, see what the favorite items were that was in my monthly favorites video, look at the products, see if I've used them up, see if I've replaced them with something else, see if I've decluttered them, see if I still love them to this day, just kind of see where I'm at with those products and see if they're still a part of my collection currently or if I've moved on to something else. You know, I really feel like these videos are beneficial because sometimes people will mention a product in a favorites video and then you never hear about it again. I originally did not come up with this idea. I actually found it from Marnie from MsGoldGirl. I'll go ahead and leave her channel down in the description box. You can go over and check her out. I only have 8 items here that I discussed 2 years ago, so it shouldn't take very long. But if I do not have the product that I'm talking about in my collection with me right now, I will just toss up some kind of photo up off to the side so you can, you know, just so you have an idea of what I'm referring to. So the very first one that I wanted to talk to you guys about was the Body Shop Body Butter in Strawberry. Now that one, back then, 2 years ago, it was my all-time favorite strawberry scent. It was my favorite body butter formula, and I still feel the exact same way about it. I don't have strawberry currently, but I do have 3 of them here. So I have the, what is this one, mango? Is this mango? This is the mango one, and the body butters normally have 2 different variations. There's either a hydrating one for dry skin or there's one for normal skin, and the mango one is the hydration formula for very dry skin. So this one's a little bit thicker than the strawberry one. This is the same. This is the Shea Body Butter, and it is a hydration formula for the very dry skin. And so, like I said, it's just a little bit thicker. It's not as movable. You really have to work this kind of formula into the skin and take a few minutes to blend it in, but it really does a nice job at hydrating and locking in some moisture to your body. And then the last one that I have here is the Japanese Cherry Blossom Body Butter. I'm not the biggest fan of this one. This is the only one that I've tried from the Body Shop that I don't love, but I will say the scent, this specific fragrance of that strawberry that the Body Shop has, it's my hands down favorite strawberry scent because it almost smells like a more natural strawberry. It doesn't feel so sickly sweet, kind of like a candy strawberry. It smells amazing, and I highly suggest that if you've never tried it out before. The next item that I was talking about is the C.O. Bigelow Rose Salve, and I had this one here, and typically I don't like a rose fragrance. I just don't like that pure, straight, floral rose fragrance, but this is a really nice one. This is the Rose Salve, and you can actually use this not only on your lips, but on your cuticles, your knees, elbows, your face. Is that everything on here? There's a whole list of different uses on the side here. I've actually used mine up from 2 years ago. These are massive. They have a ton of product in here. This one, as you can see, is still sealed, so I'm actually setting this one aside for a giveaway. I am planning on having a giveaway. Shh, don't tell anybody, but it's gonna be sort of like a hidden giveaway. So I'm probably not gonna title the video giveaway here, but this is probably going to be one of the items that I include into it because I really enjoy this product, and I would like to include some of my favorite items into the giveaway. So anyway, this is a really nice item. It's a very light pink color, but it's so sheer that it just barely deposits anything on your lips. Anyway, I really like these. If you see these at Bath & Body Works, definitely give them pick them up, smell them, see if you like the scent. I do know that they have different versions of this. I think I saw somewhere that they were either coming out with or they had a squeezy tube version of this, and I know that they used to have some different fragrances in this line, but I don't know if they still have those available. This one is a fluid line from MAC. This is in Blue Peep, as you can see here. It's like a teal. It's a brighter teal, but it's pretty opaque. I really enjoy this in the bottom waterline, and then I'll kind of bring it down so it's smudged from the waterline into the lower lash line on the outer corner. I think that looks really nice. So that is a swatch of Blue Peep, and in my waterline specifically, they'll stay all day long. They don't fade out or crumble out or anything. Sometimes, depending on the formula, not this one, but on some of the formulas that I've tried, you'll have to, if you're using it as liner, you'll have to put a layer down, let it dry down for like, I don't know, 15 or 20 seconds, and then you go back in and put a second layer, and it'll make it 100% opaque, and they stay on the lid all day long. They're completely matte. These also have a dual purpose of using them as a cream base underneath other shadows, or just as a cream shadow on their own. You can actually dab it out with your fingertip just on your lid, and even blend it out into your crease if you want, and they're a really nice long wearing formula. This is actually a permanent shade now. It was limited edition when I purchased it 2 years ago, but this one is permanent now, and I think it's a perfect color for the summertime, as you can see there. So moving on to the next one, I had a powder, and I had just picked this one up from the Sephora VIB sale, and I had used it for I think 2 weeks, and I said, you know, normally I don't toss in products that I've only been using for 2 weeks, but I've used it every single day since I got it. And the reason why I don't normally add items in like that is because I change my mind sometimes. So I've actually returned that product. I'll toss it up here so you can see what I'm talking about a little bit. But the Secret Brightening powder, I was just using that one specifically underneath the eye area the most, and I have dry skin. I think that's the #1 problem with me with powders. I do not bake under my eyes. Baking just does not mesh well with my skin and my skin type. It just looked really bad. It was catching on to all the little dry patches that I didn't even know existed, and it really wasn't brightening enough for me to have that sort of effect on the skin. Like, I just didn't think the toss-up was worth it. So I do have 2 items here that I use for setting underneath my eyes instead. So this first one, I actually just hit pan on this yesterday, but this is just the little mini size of the Hourglass Ambient Lighting powder in Ethereal Light. And that is it there. It's a super fine, very soft powder. You can see the pan right there, but that is what it looks like there. But it has just a very faint glow, but it's very silky. Well, I would describe it as smooth, maybe not silky. So it just has a very slight kind of glow to the skin, so it looks a little bit more alive. It doesn't look completely matted down, but I really enjoy this one. I usually don't get that much creasing underneath my eyes. I have some fine lines under there, so the majority of powders that I put underneath my eyes will probably crease just a smidgen. The other one, I actually tried this one out. I do not enjoy it all over the face because I feel like this one makes me break out. I did actually put this one all over my face. It's been probably 3 months since I did this the last time, and I actually really like how my skin feels, but I can't use this product too many days in a row because I will break out. But this is the by Terry Hyaluronic Hydra powder, and it does blur little fine lines on your face. So I can still see the smile line right here that I typically have an issue with all the time, but it's not nearly as bad as it typically is with all of my other powders. And especially underneath the eye area, this one does a really nice job of just setting everything in place. You can't go in and disturb the area afterwards, but if for some reason you happen to go up and like rub underneath your eye area, you're not gonna have as much of a catastrophe as I did with the Laura Mercier. It's a little dab of it. It's so much finer than any of the Laura Mercier powders. It literally feels like I have silk on my fingertips right now, and it feels like my skin feels super silky. There's actually a ton of rave reviews about this product. I had just tried it out for like 2-ish weeks, 3 weeks before I reviewed this initially. I'll leave that link down in the description box, but I hadn't had time to form my full opinions on this, but I had actually received this from Octoly, so I needed to get that out there. But I've actually had time to test this out a little bit better. I formed more of an opinion, and I forgot to mention, when I put this one underneath my eye area, I actually don't use a brush. I feel like I get like little speckly spots and like stuff gets moved around, so I just dab my ring finger into this powder, a very, very, very tiny amount, and I will just dab right under my eye, and this sets everything when I'm done. Then I can take a brush and I can sweep underneath my eye area and just move any excess product out of the way. But I've actually been surprised. I've been very shocked with how much that I've started to enjoy this product. So anyway, that again was the by Terry Hyaluronic Hydra Powder. So there you go. And by the way, it looks white, but this is translucent. 2 years ago, I had actually just started getting into my all-time favorite eye cream. I still love this eye cream today. This one is the Black Tea Age Delay Eye Concentrate from Fresh, and it does retail for upwards of, I think it's $78, almost $80 with tax and everything. But this is what I do. I pick up a tub of this in November during the Sephora VIB sale, so I get the 20% off, and then this tub will last me an entire year since it has that 0.5 fluid ounces. Sometimes I get little samples of eye creams and I'll use those in the morning time, and then I'll just use this one at nighttime instead of using this all the time. But this is incredibly thick, super hydrating. My under eyes don't dry out. Concealers that I couldn't use before because they settled into my fine lines and they looked super crepey and awful and creased all over the place. When they did that before, after I started using this eye cream, it changed the entire concealer game for me. So I really feel like if you are having issues with concealer and powders and foundation settling under your eyes, into those little fine lines, try switching up your eye cream for about a week and see if it makes any sort of a difference. But I have not come across an eye cream that's as fantastic as this one. It's supposed to firm and illuminate, and it's supposed to plump any fine lines. So I definitely agree that this is an extremely hydrating product, and I love it. I use this every single night at nighttime, and 9 times out of 10 I'm using this in the mornings too. This one I've had for a while. I actually got this one from Birchbox with my Birchbox points, so technically I got this for free, but this one I think it does retail for somewhere around the $24 range. If I'm wrong, I'll toss it up on, you know, up in the corner up there. But this one is the Balm Mary Luminizer, and the reason why I like this one is because it almost looks wet on the skin. I actually did not even drop this item, but because it's such an insanely soft highlighting powder, I was almost touching the bottom of the pan and it just decided to shatter one day because it got bumped the wrong way or something. But I did end up repressing this one. You can see I've got like a little dip going in there, but that is what it looks like on my finger there, and I'll give you a little swatch right here as well. This is a really beautiful highlighter. That's it right next to that fluid line, but I think it's gorgeous. I really feel like this would work for a wide variety of skin tones because I used to think that this was a really cool toned sort of highlighter, but I feel like it's definitely like a very pale white gold color. I actually had this one on my cheekbones today and it is looking a little crazy. I forget how intense this one is. Sometimes I'll dab it right at the inner corner of my eye like that, and sometimes I'll even wear it as an eyeshadow just on the lid, and it looks super beautiful. It looks really intense, and I think it's a fun product. And I think if you don't have a ton of highlighters, I really don't feel like you would have very many that are this intense. So I feel like it's a nice staple to have in your collection, and it's pretty big on YouTube as well. There's a lot of rave reviews about that item. This next item is the Jergens BB Body Perfecting Skin Cream. And the one that I had in that video from 2 years ago was the light version for light to medium skin tones, and that's what this one is as well. But I do like to purchase the one that's for medium to dark skin tones because you really can't tell that much of a difference, except for the fact that it does develop just a touch quicker if you get the darker one. But this isn't like a self-tanning product that shows immediate results. This is a gradual self-tanner that adds just a little bit of glow, and I feel like these are a little bit more foolproof than, you know, a full body application and then you're 5 shades darker than you were before sort of a product. It takes a lot of applications over, I would say, maybe a 4 to 7 day period before you start noticing a difference on your skin. I can apply a little bit of this. Let me show you just how pale I am and just how subtle this item is. So that is it on my arm right there. And if I blend this in, you're really not going to see much of a difference. But if I put this on and then I wait just a little bit for it to dry down and then I put on a second layer, I can tell just a slight difference. So if I'm wearing a tank top and I don't have time to put on anything else, I can just grab this, toss it in the car. I really like the scent of this item when you first apply it. But as it develops, it does have a little off scent, not nearly as bad and not nearly as extreme as the, the major standard self-tanners. Those just smell like something died as it develops. Ugh, those are really bad, but this one's not too bad. I can stomach this one. My husband can stomach this one. It's not too intense that you have to open a window when you're in the room with somebody with this product on. The last item that I had in that favorites video 2 years ago is actually a product that is marketed for men, but I use it. I think it's just fine. I even use the same lotion from this brand for my face sometimes, and it's the exact same thing. It's just in different packaging, marketed for men. But anyway, this is the Clinique face scrub, and this one is super gritty. This isn't the same one from back then. This is actually another one that I've repurchased since then, but I'm all the way down to right here. If my skin is just giving me some major issues, I reach for this. If you have sensitive skin, absolutely 100% do not try this out. But this one is a little bit more abrasive, but I enjoy that since I do have dry skin. I get those dry flaky patches all the time. I probably squeeze out about that much, and this will do my entire face and maybe even a little bit on my neck or my, my collarbone area if I need to. So I would say in general, I use between 2 to 2.5 pea size amounts of product, and then I put it on my face. I just scrub it around like this. And then the key to this product is that you leave it on for how long is it? Well, 1.5 minutes. I always read this every time I get in the shower. You'd think I'd know it from now. I just don't want to give you guys the wrong information. After this is on, I won't rinse it off. I'll just move on to something else like shaving or putting in a deep hair mask or something. I will move on to something else because this has to have time to do its thing on your face. You leave it on for 1 minute to 1.5 minutes, and it's this really cooling, intense, pepperminty sort of feeling. And then you rinse it off and your skin feels amazing and it feels really minty and tingly. This product changes my skin for probably the next 4 or 5 days. I don't need to exfoliate as intensely as I did with this item over those 4 or 5 days. So anyway, those were all of my favorite products from 2 years ago. I still love every single one of them, and I still use every single one of them except for that Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. That one actually did go back to Sephora, unfortunately, and I wish I would have just tested it out with a couple other different foundations for another week or two, and I would have known that I did not enjoy that one with every single one of my foundations and concealers and everything. So that was everything that I wanted to talk about, and as crazy and embarrassing as it is for me, I will actually go ahead and leave the original favorites video from April 2015 down in the description box for you guys in case for some insane reason you wanted to go over and look at it. But I think it's actually a pretty quick video. I think I had to go somewhere when I was filming it, but anyway, that was it. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.